If you're asking God for the next level, there are some truths that he needs you to hear before he takes you there. Because elevation doesn't start with promotion. It starts with confrontation. My name is Napoleon Barnes, and I want to give you 15 truths that you need to hear before you level up in this next season. You see, you don't step into new levels, you shed old versions. And here's the truth. Elevation always begins with isolation. Sometimes you are too familiar with your atmosphere, friends, family, culture. God has to separate you in order for him to impart new wisdom inside of you. You don't get the next level being the old you. You see, God doesn't promote identities that he hasn't purified. Growth requires identity dissonance, the discomfort of outgrowing your former self. Number 2, your next level will cost you relationships you thought were permanent. Luke 5:11 says, "So they forsook all and followed him." Some people are called to walk with you, but not finish with you. And sometimes we're trying to get people to finish with us just because they started with us. But it doesn't work that way. You all wasn't growing at the same level. Somewhere you kept growing and they didn't. Or you just started growing apart, and that's okay. But just because they start with you doesn't mean they have to finish with you. And I know that can be tough, but growth sometimes requires grief. Sometimes you have to mourn those who can't come with you, because every elevation has an expiration date on certain relationships. And some of y'all are in expired relationships. You know it's expired because you no longer are fed. Y'all don't think the same. You're optimistic, they're pessimistic. But because y'all been friends a long time, because there has been a relationship for a long period of time, you are holding on to something that God is telling you, you gotta mourn. It leads me to point number 3. Delay is not denial. It is divine resistance training. James 1:3-4 says, "Knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience, but let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing." God delays outcomes in order to deepen endurance. The delay only makes you stronger, and strength is formed under tension, not relief. So God only slows down the promise so that it doesn't break you when it arrives. And the truth is, if the promise came right now, it would probably break you because you haven't built up enough strength to withstand everything that comes with the blessing. And that leads me to point number 4. God will break your shortcuts. Deuteronomy 8:3, "So he humbled you, allowed you to hunger, that he might make you know that man shall not live by bread alone." Anything that you rush can rule you later. And God is such a good God, he won't allow you to rush the season. So he will make you hunger. He will allow you to thirst. He will humble you. He will have you in a waiting season because he understands that you are growing in this season and he wants you to win in the next. And the only way you're going to win in the next is you're going to have to realize you're not going to live by bread alone, but it's going to be by every word that comes out of his mouth. And what you skip in preparation, you will pay for in pressure. And trust me, the next level comes with pressure. So maximize the preparation season. And that leads me to point number 5. You will feel underqualified on purpose. 2 Corinthians 12:9 says, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness." God needs your weakness. He needs for you to identify where you're weak. He needs for you to recognize that you cannot do this without him. Why? Because he says, "My grace is sufficient in the area that you're insufficient." God chooses insufficiency so that he can get the glory. Imposter syndrome often signals expansion, not failure. And when you process in the flesh, you think you fail. But it's only when you fail that you fall into grace. You fall into the hands of a loving Father that says, "I will not allow you to fail." Do you know that God is invested in your future? He ain't gonna let you fail. He's not gonna let you fall. He's not gonna allow your haters to have the last laugh. You have to fail in grace, fall in grace, because His grace is sufficient for you. And here's the truth. Feeling small doesn't mean you're uncalled. It means you're stretching. It means you're going beyond your own limitations. It means that you are entering into this space where God is about to expand you. He's about to make you. He's about to build you. He's about to create the best version of you. But you don't get that unless you fail. You don't get that unless you receive His grace. And His grace is made strong in your weakness. And let me just say this, dead weight can't go with you. And when you carry what's no longer alive, it will sabotage your next season. Hebrews 12:1 says, therefore, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which so easily ensnares us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us. God never calls you forward without first calling you lighter. And the truth is, dead weight is not always sinful. Sometimes it's just what is simply expired. And often we confuse familiarity with necessity. But what supported you in one season could actually be draining you in the next. So I need for you to discern dead weight. That consists of people who no longer stretch your faith, habits that once helped you survive but now limit growth, thought patterns tied to old trauma, old ceilings, old fears, or assignments you've outgrown but refuse to release. Anything that you have to drag into your next season doesn't belong there. And some of you are trying to drag boyfriends and girlfriends. If it's no longer producing life, it's dead. If it's no longer making you the better version of yourself, it's dead. If the relationship is one-sided, it's dead. And God will not anoint what you refuse to release. My God. And this leads me to point number 6. God will offend your pride before He affirms your calling. In Proverbs 16:18, pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. God wounds pride to protect destiny. He won't let you go to the next level with pride because He understands that your destiny will be ruined if you bring pride into the next season. So maybe this season is to humble you. Maybe this season is to cause you to get low so that He can promote you, so that He can elevate you, so that He can take you to the next level and you not find sorrow there, grief there, destruction there. Because ego blocks growth. Ego blocks learning. Ego blocks adaptability. And your next level is going to need for you to be pliable. Because if God doesn't humble you, life will. And this leads me to point 7. Freedom can feel threatening before it feels fulfilling. And the children of Israel said to them, oh, that we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt. I need for you to understand this. Israel had been freed from slavery, but their warped memory rewrote Egypt as comfort. Before you go to your next level, the next level will sometimes make you feel threatened. It will become so unfamiliar to you that you will want to settle for the last season because the last season provided comfort, but that comfort was killing your faith. That comfort was killing your potential. And sometimes we prefer familiar oppression over unfamiliar freedom. God could be telling you to start that business, but that is familiar oppression. You're comfortable with them giving you a check. But unfamiliar freedom is when you have to go make it yourself. Your next level will require faith, but you're going to need that faith for the times you're going to feel threatened by the next season. The next season won't feel good, but it will produce everything good. And the truth is, freedom requires the death of an old mindset. If you're going to still think like Egypt, you need to stay in Egypt. If you're going to still think like the lesser version of you, then you can just stop watching this video. Because everyone right now, we're going to the next level. And you have to have a new mindset. You have to see what God is about to give you in the next season. It's going to be scary. I promise you, it's going to be scary, but you can make it because you have the God of the universe that's working inside of you, preparing you for the next. Which leads me to point number 8. God will expose your need for control. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. Control is counterfeit trust. When you're in control, you think you can trust that. When you're in control, you think that is the safest place to be. But it's not. Your thoughts are limited. Your wisdom is limited. Your power is limited. There comes a season where you have to trust in the Lord with all of your heart, and you cannot lean on your own understanding. Your own understanding got you into some places that you know you wasn't supposed to be in. And the next level will expose your need for control. Because the next level, you won't have the knowledge. You won't have the wisdom. You won't have everything already in you. You're going to need God's wisdom. You're going to need his divine strategy. You're going to need him to speak to you in real time, because what God is about to do in you is about to be crazy. And anxiety rises when control exceeds influence. Your next level will produce a lot of anxiety if you lean on your own understanding, because you're not built for the next level without God. The next level is too great. The next level is too big. The next level comes with too much. We have to lean on him. And when we put our weight on him, he is strong enough to hold us up. And this leads me to point number 9. Character will matter more than your gifting. In Proverbs 22:1, it says, a good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold. Reputation formed by character outweighs success, platform, or talent. Because here's the truth. You can recover lost money, but you rarely recover a lost name. That simply means that you can gain the world and lose the very thing that made you worth following. And your next level needs the strongest version of you, in the public and in the private. Point number 10. God will challenge the story you tell yourself. Romans 12:2 says, and do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. God transforms the mind before he transfers the miracle. It's really simple. You can't step into a new season with an old narrative. And that's very important, because your next season is going to require you to have a new narrative. And that new narrative is going to be words given to you by God. And that word that's given to you by God is going to require obedience, which leads me to point number 11. Obedience will stop making sense. Joshua 6:2-5, you shall march around the city, and then the wall of the city will fall down. God had these people marching around the wall, marching around the wall, marching around the wall. In the last day, they had to march around it 7 times and then shout. All of that just to defeat their enemy. I'm pretty sure at some point they had to ask themselves, does this make sense? But here's the truth. Faith obeys before it understands. Woo-hoo. In your next level, you have to obey before you understand it, because breakthrough obeys instructions, not logic. God will have you do some crazy things. The reason why you're different than the average motivational person, the reason why you're different from the average ambitious person, the reason why you're different than the average person who is just a go-getter is that we have the secret sauce. We have God whispering in our ears, telling us things that we must do, innovative, creative thoughts that God is telling you to do. But if you are waiting for it to make sense, Noah, you won't build the ark in a dry land. If you're waiting for it to rain, then you will not be doing what God is telling you to do in this season. You're not the same. God is going to give you divine strategy, divine insight. Keep your heart open and be obedient even when it doesn't make sense. And that leads me to point number 12. Discipline will replace motivation. 1 Corinthians 9:27 says, but I discipline my body and bring it into subjection. God honors stewardship, not excitement. God is trying to see, will you steward this moment? Will you steward this season? Will you steward that job? Will you steward that family? Will you steward those finances? Because your next level needs more than excitement. It needs more than just motivation. It needs more than just self-talk, self-help books. It needs discipline. You have to disciple yourself in this next season. If you make the plan, follow through. If you make the plan, stick to it, because systems outperforms emotions. Motivation might start you, but discipline finishes you. And we're almost there. But point number 13 is God will reduce noise before increasing clarity. God speaks very clearly where distractions die. Sometimes God needs for you to be in a silent place. Sometimes he wants you to be in a place where you can hear the still, small voice. We always want God to speak with thunder and lightning. But God is saying, I want to whisper this next thing to you, this next secret to you. There are some things that God wants to give you for your next season, but you got to be able to have your ear to his lip so that he can tell you exactly what he wants you to do, when he wants you to do it, and you do it. When you do that, you are going to reap all of the benefits, all of the outcomes that God has for you in this next season. He ain't telling everybody what he's about to do next. He wants to talk to you, but will you give him your ear? Will you allow him to speak to you? Because God needs to reduce the noise in order for you to get clear instructions. And I'm afraid that we don't like silence right now. We don't like those still moments. It makes us weird. It makes us feel like what's going on. So we just put music and we put things in those silent spaces. We have to fill the void of silence with something. But hear this, silence is often the birthplace of direction. Silence is often the birthplace of direction. If you really want to get clear, get silent. Listen in. And this leads me to point number 14. You will have to let go of good to receive God's best. Philippians 3:13 and 14 says, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forward to those things which are ahead. You see, comfort competes with calling. There are things that we have to leave in this year, and you cannot carry them over into your next year. I don't care how comfortable they are. It competes with the calling. And the truth is, we're settling for good. You're settling for a good, I don't know if I want to say that. Yes, I am going to say that. You're settling for a good relationship when God has a better relationship for you. You're settling with a good job, a good opportunity when God says, I have better for you. But you got to forget the things that are behind you. Can I tell you the things that you are occupying today, by the time tomorrow comes, that is behind you? You can let it go, but you got to let it go in order for you to reach forward to those things that God has in store for you, because good is often the enemy of God's best. Yeah, good is the enemy of God's best. And congratulations, you made it to point number 15. Your next level requires a new version of you. Isaiah 43:19 says, behold, I will do a new thing. God is about to do a new thing. And a new thing in a new person, because God is not just trying to update your life. God is trying to transform you. God is trying to upgrade you. God is not into blessing who you were. God is into blessing who you're becoming. And who you are becoming is greater. Who you're becoming is stronger. Who you're becoming is wiser. So I want you to say this with me. I release who I was to receive who God is forming. I don't fear the pressure. I trust the process. This next level won't break me. It will reveal me. I realize I'm not for everybody, but I do know that I am for somebody. And maybe you're that somebody. So join the family and let's go from revelation to revival. Click one of these videos right here, because I know it's going to change your life.